Welcome to our webinar on empowering teams for experimentation and innovation. In today's rapidly changing businesses, organizations need to embrace experimentation and innovation to thrive in. In this webinar, we will be exploring the importance of these concepts and provide strategies for creating a culture that supports them. So this webinar has been recorded for you. And if you do want to get a copy of it, please drop us a note to hello@leadershiptribe.com. And we will also share a copy of the slides that are shown in this session. My colleague will drop the email ID in the chat box shortly. So on that note, let's look at our game plan. What are we planning for the next 20 to 30 minutes? So our game plan is a little bit of me and Swati talking about who we are and what we do. We will be then talking about the why aspect of experimenting and innovating with teams and the importance of it. We will also be talking about the recommendations as we go forward and the tools one can use, and also look at the road ahead, which is our development plan, and the paths that you can take to help you continue your journey. If you've got any questions, please write to us at hello@leadershiptribe.com and we will reach out to you. So on that note, little introductions. I'm based out of Bangalore. My name is Aarti, and I come with about 12 plus years of experience. I'm a coach and facilitator and also an accredited Kanban trainer. On most parts, I deliver trainings on Scrum, Kanban, coaching, facilitation, and any other tailored programs. And on the other hand, I do work with some of our clients to set them up for success. I work on transformation projects also. So that is what I do on a day-to-day basis. I will pass it over to my colleague Swati to introduce herself.
I have to say this, that those of you who are looking to explore agile frameworks, you got to be in one of her classes. There is no one better than Aarti when it comes to teaching Kanban, Scrum, or any other agile frameworks which are popular in the market right now. About me, I come from human resources and training background. So throughout my professional journey, I have been helping organizations achieve better results and improving employee well-being in the workplace. For this, my focus has been into leadership training and coaching. I feel a sense of that fulfillment within me when I help people navigate change and uncertainty, especially when the organization they are working for is undergoing change or transformation or becoming agile. I proudly hold PCC credentials from the ICF, that's International Coaching Federation, and I mostly work online. So you can see me as a digital nomad who spends day working online and in the evening enjoys quality time with friends and family. So that's about me.
Thanks, Swati, for that lovely introduction. And on that note, a little introduction about the organization that we represent and work for, which is Leadership Tribe. So I've been with them for quite a few years now, and they're a consulting and a training organization. So as a company, if you or your teams are having any kind of challenges, you can bring in some consultants like us, and we can help you deliver it or to create strategies for you. It can either be transformations, change transformation, or digital, whatever it is that you want to bring in some change, you can reach out to us and we're there. So let's kick off and look at why empower teams to experiment and innovate. So empowering teams to experiment and innovate is crucial for many reasons. It is, for enhancing creativity and problem solving. So when teams are encouraged to explore new ideas and approaches, they can tap into, the collective creativity and come up with innovative solutions to those challenges. And this can lead to breakthroughs, improve processes, and enhance customer experiences. On the other hand, it's also for increasing the engagement and the motivation with your teams. Experimenting and innovation to provide those opportunities for your team members to come together, to learn together and grow and contribute their unique perspectives that they have. And this increases the engagement with your teams and the level of motivation and a sense of ownership to their work. It's also for adapting to a changing business needs. So like in today's rapidly changing environments, organizations need to be able to adapt and innovate quickly to be able to stay ahead of the competition. So empowering your teams to experiment allows them to test new ideas and also pivot and make those changes as needed to respond to the market changes and the trends that are there and your customers' demands. And also reduces the risk of stagnation. That without experimentation and innovation, organizations can risk becoming stagnant, losing that competitive edge that is there. And it's also to attract and retain top talent. That, today's top talent is drawn to companies that value creativity, innovation, and employee empowerment. So, by providing these opportunities for experimentation and innovation, the organizations are able to attract and retain that talent for future successes that they have. So, one example that I have of how empowering your teams to experiment and innovate has led to positive outcomes is NASA. So, they have this concept of failure is not an option. This is the culture that they have there. So, NASA is encouraging its employees to embrace failure as a learning opportunity and to view it as like a necessary step to the path of innovation. So this culture has led to the development of many successful space missions despite a lot of setbacks that they might have had along the way. So empowering your teams to experiment and innovate, organizations are able to foster that culture of creativity, adaptability, continuous improvement. And this can ultimately lead to a competitive advantage that you can have. And it increases your employee engagement and that long-term success. Let's look at some of the benefits that are there. So some of the benefits here are you've got reduced costs and environmental impacts. So experimentation can help your organization to identify and implement more efficient processes and technologies, leading to reduced costs and smaller environmental footprints. Example, like a manufacturing company, they may experiment with a new production method that can use less energy or materials, or a software company that experiments with maybe cloud-based solutions that reduce the need for on-premise servers. Then on the other hand, another benefit is increasing the efficiency and productivity. So with innovation, you can lead to the development of new products, services, and processes that improve the efficiency and productivity. Like for retail companies, they might develop a new automated checkout system that reduces the wait time for customers and allows employees to focus on other tasks at hand. Another is to improve the product and service quality. So with experimentation, it helps organizations to identify, to fix problems with their products that are there or the services, and at the same time also develop new features and enhance your customer satisfaction. So like an example is a consumer electronics company, let's say. They might experiment with different designs for a new smartphone to ensure that it is user friendly, it meets the needs of the users and the target market or the audience, right? And there are new market opportunities. So your innovation can help up with new market opportunities by allowing your organization to enter new markets, offer new products and services to existing customers, and also bring in new customers and a sustainable business future. So with the experimentation and innovation that you're doing, it's essential for organizations to adapt to those changing market conditions. Things are changing constantly. New technology, new features are coming in, new demands. Your customers' demands are increasing day by day. So by continuously testing for new ideas and approaches, organizations are able to stay ahead of the curve and ensure there's long-term sustainability. So these are some benefits that are there when it comes to innovation and experimentation. There is a research that did take place, and this was from Gartner. And what they say is that only 1/3 of change initiatives are successful. Now, this is a significant problem because as organizations are increasingly relying on changing to achieve their strategic goals, right? So Gartner identifies a number of factors that contribute to high failure of rate of changes and these initiatives that take place. And those are, lack of clear vision or the lack of strategy for change. Why are we doing that change? What is it that we want out of it? Poor communication, not just within the teams and within the organization, but also with your stakeholders. And then there is inadequate resistance that's taking place and lack of metrics and measurements. Having data is important. It tells you what is as is and allows you to make changes based on that. And also failure to embed those changes in the organization's culture. going back to the old ways of working and such. So, some of the recommendations that Gartner has to be able to improve that success rate is to develop a clear and compelling vision for the change. Why are we doing it? Be very clear. Your team needs to be aware of it, your organization, it needs to be at the team level, business unit level, and even at the organization level, that your vision is clear. And you're communicating effectively with your stakeholders, and you're able to identify and manage any resistance that's taking place. Collect data, look at what is it that you want to measure, and accordingly choose that and measure. So, by following these recommendations, there are chances of increasing your success rates of implementing changes within the organization.
Those are some really amazing statistics and recommendations you pulled out, Aarti. When organizations, use these and follow these recommendations, they increase the chances of success while implementing change initiatives. And I totally echo that organizations need to be thoughtful as they're implementing change, because we have different generations that are working in the workplace today. We have Generation X, Millennials, Generation Z. Each of them, they bring in their own unique values and work styles, work preferences, and expectations to the table. For example, I remember I once read a research and it highlighted that Generation X, they tend to prioritize work-life balance. Millennials seek job security, and many younger employees from Generation Z, they want to have more empathetic and open conversations. So all these generational cohorts, they respond differently to the organizational change. And in fact, I have seen this happening, recently when I coached around 200 middle managers and senior leaders in one of the top financial banks in the country. I noticed different patterns of emotional responses. Like most of the Generation X people, they had fear of job loss, resistance to new technology. There was reluctance to changing the existing processes because the organization was bringing about HR transformation for the company. Now, millennials, they had frustration around, a lot of the workload which was presented to them because of this change which happened for them, the competing priorities, too many things happening, at once, which one to choose, which project to prioritize. They had frustration and stress around that. And Generations Z, they embodied that entrepreneurial spirit. They wanted to feel included. There was desire for open communication and more collaboration. So the big picture view is that the organization is embracing, experimentation and innovation. However, when we zoom in, we see that there is stress, fatigue, anxiety, different emotional experiences. Now, these different emotional experiences affect the organization's ability to experiment and innovate. So, as change agents, we want the team members to feel empowered. We want them to feel that sense of confidence within their abilities so that team is able to think outside the box, challenge the status quo, drive more value and achieve the strategic goals quickly. We want them to feel that kind of confidence in their abilities. We don't want them to be crippled with the fear of, failure or risk aversion for that matter. So here we need to facilitate a culture of curiosity, creativity, and continuous improvement within the organization. We need to foster a positive emotional climate and encourage team members to share their ideas and feedback. We need to facilitate that culture. And a meaningful step in this direction for all of us as change agents is to be curious about the underlying factors that are contributing to this team's ability to experiment and innovate, and then address the barriers that may be stopping them from achieving their full potential. So we have a recommendation for you, and that's the iceberg model. We talk about this model in depth in our systemic coaching classes and even in the boot camps, coaching boot camps. So the recommendation here is that instead of noticing and reacting to the tip of the iceberg, drill down below the surface. take a look at what trends, what subsystems or what structures are in play. Dive deep into that. For example, if you are noticing that, the team is not experimenting or innovating enough and the product is not keeping up with the customer needs or the latest trends in the market, what is the underlying pattern? For example, are there unproductive meetings? Are the meetings ending without any clear action item? What are the structures or subsystems beneath that? Is there enough market research there or lack of it? Are the product development processes, are they outdated? Are the departments working with collaboration or in silos? Is there lack of trust, lack of risk appetite? What's really happening? What are the assumptions that could be, could be driving the situation there? For example, one of the common assumption that I've encountered working with teams is that they feel that, there's no urgent need for change, or this change will disrupt the core functionality of the product. So become aware of the factors that are constituting this iceberg in your context, and then work on challenging and reshaping it to create a safe to fail culture. Instead of looking at it as the problem and reacting to it, dive deeper to understand the factors and then work on eliminating them.
So there's another tool also that one can use, which is your Kanban practices. So here's the practices in brief that I'm going to talk about. So you've got visualize your workflows. This means that use your Kanban boards to represent your workflows and the work items that are there. Make everything visible. Let your teams have that visibility and transparency with what is happening. Limit the work in progress. That's your WIP limits. This means setting a maximum number of work items that can be in progress at any given one point of time. This helps you reduce your bottlenecks and ensures that work is being completed more efficiently and on time. Managing flow. This means that make sure that your work is moving smoothly through that workflow. This involves identifying and removing bottlenecks and ensuring that there's enough work in progress to keep your teams busy, but not so much that they are overwhelmed. Then making your policies explicit. This is that you're making sure that everyone's involved in the process has understood the rules, the guidelines that govern how work is done. It's like your social contracts to an extent. How are you going to do the work, and how are you going to handle certain work items? So this reduces the chances of misunderstandings with your teams and ensures that work is getting completed consistently. And you're implementing feedback loops. This is very important. This is where you're regularly collecting feedback from your stakeholders and also within your teams and using that feedback to improve the process. And improving the process constantly helps you evolve and helps you as a team improve and as an organization. And improving and evolving collaboratively. Or let me rephrase that, improve collaboratively and evolving experimentally. This means that you're making changes to the process in collaborative and experimental ways. This is to ensure that the changes are implemented in a way that is beneficial not only to the teams, but also also to the organization as a whole. So, use these practices in your day-to-day workspace. Now, to bring any kind of change in, as change agents or as coaches, one is spending most of the time playing different hats. You're coaching, you're facilitating, you're teaching, you're mentoring, and you're continuously learning on the go also. And our advice is for you to continuously practice those skills to get better at your crafts. So we've got some next steps here. That is, if you're ready to take your next steps and hone your skills, there's a development path that I'm going to talk about and some quick recommendations. So at Leadership Tribe, we offer a range of IC Agile accredited courses, and they're from various tracks that are there. You've got the Agile coaching, Enterprise Agile coaching, Agility in Leadership, to name a few. If you're curious to know more about this, we've got our offerings available on our website, which is leadershiptribe.com. Do visit it, and it's got all the information and any downloadable materials that you need. So there are a couple of courses also that are coming up, or programs. So here we've got the Agile Coach Bootcamp, which is starting in December. The dates are up here on my screen that I'm sharing, and my colleague, when she emails you also, this information will be shared. So when it comes to the boot camp, it's providing like a comprehensive understanding of facilitation and coaching techniques, focusing on building effective communication, fostering collaboration, guiding teams towards higher levels of performance. And the course is also such a mix and match of theoretical and practical, and so many practical activities and hands-on activities and discussions that take place through the 4 days of the 5 days of the course. And there is another, which is our systems coaching course. Now, this is also an IC Agile accredited certification. It's designed to help coaches and leaders to improve their ability to work with complex adaptive systems. It's recommended for coaches or professionals who want to deepen their skills on agile coaching, enterprise coaching, and also the leadership track. So our advice is, if you're curious to know more, reach out to us, drop us a message at hello@leadershiptribe.com, and my team will get back to you with more information. If you want a one-on-one conversation, if you've got questions you want to ask, one-on-one conversations, book in a slot with us. Again, it's at hello@leadershiptribe.com itself that you can do the same. Just drop a note saying, hey, I would like to have a quick 10-minute or 15-minute catch up with you. Can you, we'll share our calendar links and get on call. Also, if you've got any questions with respect to this webinar that we have done, or you've got any clarifications or doubts, drop us a note and we will write back to you and clarify anything you want to ask. So on that note, this brings us to the end of our webinar. Thank you for logging in and joining us here and listening in. See you all very soon.